This is your introduction to the Volume Profile Combination Pack for TradeStation. If you're comfortable with Twitter, search for the hashtag Volume Profile to get ideas of how traders use the methodology in their trading. In this video, I'll give you an overview of the indicators. We'll have a discussion about the most important input values to optimize so that you get the best value for your trading environment. We'll review the sample workspace, and I've also got an additional video available that contains a discussion of how I use the indicator for ES day trading, and that's on my website. If you haven't done so already, please go to the product page on the Trading App Store and download the documentation. There's a lot of information in there that you need to know before you continue in this presentation. If you're a subscriber to the Volume Profile Combination Pack, it includes two indicators, H.VP, which builds the volume profile for regular trading hours, extended trading hours, and any arbitrary or anchored time frame. And it also includes the Volume Profile Combination Pack indicator H.VP.plotter, which will plot the volume profile in a chart of a different time frame other than minutes and or in a radar screen. If you're a subscriber to the volume profile for regular trading hours, the indicator there that builds the volume profile is called H.VP.RTH, and that builds the profile for regular trading hours only. You see before you the output of the indicator set in its most verbose configuration. It's displaying the volume profile for 1, 2, 3, 4 different sessions. It will show you the developing volume value area and the developing point of control for the volume. We look here on this day, the volume value area is defined by this yellow line as it changes over the trading session. The red line is the volume point of control. The cyan line is the volume weighted average price. The numbers to the left of the session tells you the volume price opportunity or the number of shares traded at the specific price, which are color coded to let you know at the end of the session or during the session. Red signifies the volume point of control, yellow signifies the volume value area, and the green are the volume price opportunities that are outside of the volume value area. High volume nodes and low volume nodes, when the session is over, can be displayed. Low volume nodes are defined by the lines that are blue. High volume nodes are defined by the lines that are red. The volume point of control is the brightest red. Additionally, when the session is over, the indicator can display the session volume profile statistics, the volume value area low to high, the volume point to control, and the volume weighted average price. Let's jump into TradeStation and take a look at the indicator running. I'm doing these screen captures after the regular trading hours are over, so you won't actually see the charts change. This first example is the default settings for the indicator, where the VPO are color coded to show you the value area and the volume POC. You can see the volume value area high, low, and the POC change over the session. You can also see the volume weighted average price change over the session. Additionally, the previous session's volume value area and volume POC are displayed, and 5 sessions of history are maintained on the chart. This first alternative changes the alignment of the VPO. You can set it to right alignment so that it's on the right hand side of the first bar of the session. This example, the VPO is changed to be displayed as a heat map, where the highest volume area is in white, the lowest volume area is in black, and those areas in between are shades of gray. Stats have been turned off, and this helps you see where the hot spots are. History has been turned off completely. previous value volume area has been turned off and the stats have been turned off. So what you can see here clearly is the volume value area, the volume POC, and the volume weighted average price as they've changed throughout the previous sessions and the current session. And then finally, same as last chart, but at the end of the session, the indicator will calculate based on your input and show you where the high volume nodes, represented by red, and the low volume nodes, represented by blue, exist. And in this case, you see that it's been configured so that any previous session that had higher low volume nodes, if those prices have been tested later, they've disappeared. Where prices have never touched a low volume area, you can continue to see the coloration. Let's take a look at some of the more important configuration choices you're going to have. The Format Indicator General tab, the indicator will work properly if you update the value intra-bar tick by tick. When you do that, the VPOs are drawn and updated on each tick. The values change, the color is changed, it uses more of your trading system's CPU, it uses more of your internet bandwidth. If you uncheck that or disable the update tick by tick, the VPOs are updated on bar close. You can put this indicator on a 1 minute chart. That means you only have a lag of 1 minute. Regardless of the setting, the plots for the volume value area, the volume POC, and the volume weighted average price are only updated on the bar close. There are a lot of names that you can configure in the Inputs tab of the Format Indicator. I asked you at the earlier part of the presentation to make sure you have the documentation. I think the documentation does a very good job of explaining the meaning of these inputs. We're going to spend the presentation focusing on only 5 of these input values. The first input name we'll discuss is TradesPerOp, or trades per operation. You see before you a time and sales window which shows you every trade that's occurred on the equity. In this case it's a future symbol, the time, the price, and the quantity. You can see in the last second of trading there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different trades that occurred in that second. When TradesPerOp is set to 1, the indicator is called by TradeStation for each and every one of these trades. It's told the time, the price, and the quantity. As you could imagine, when that's the case, the VPOs that the indicator calculates are 100% accurate, and likewise takes, relatively speaking, the most amount of CPU usage. If you set trades per operation to a number greater than 1, the trades are bunched together by TradeStation before they are sent to the indicator. It's possible for the VPO to be less precise. Let me give you an example. If you set trades per operation to 2 and the platform happens to bunch these 2 trades together, the indicator is told that there were 2 trades that occurred for 6 total contracts, and the high and the low was 94.50 to 94.75. The indicator will then realize that there were 2 prices traded, divide the volume in half, and give each price 3 contracts. You can see if we do in fact do that calculation, in neither case will be correct. If you set trades per operation to 5, and hypothetically the platform took these 5 trades and bunched them together, again we would have trades from 94.50 to 94.75. There would be 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades at 2 different traded prices, and the calculation would be 4.5 contracts per price as opposed to 5 on one and 4 on the other. Now, why would I introduce such imprecision? Well, let's take a look at the impact of that choice on performance. I used an ES.D chart, had 15 days of data, set keep history to all, so that it would do an analysis for all 15 days. I turned the indicator on. I also turned the Easy Language Utilization Monitor on. When trades per op were set to 1, it took about 35 seconds for the indicator to execute the data for all those 15 days. When I set trades per op to 10, it only took 3.5 seconds. Basically a tenfold increase in performance when the trades per operation were increased by 10. Now what does that do for the output? Let's take a look here. ES.D on a 1-minute chart. This was taken at 12:08 in the afternoon, so during the trading session both of these charts were running simultaneously. You can see that here. This indicator was running with trades per op equal 1, this one with trades per op equal 10. What I want you to do when you have the indicator is you do this work yourself to find out what you believe is the best, let's call it price performance value for you to use for trades per op. The default is 1, but I want to caution you that that is the highest CPU utilization. You can see quickly on this chart that the VPOs are different, which means the actual number of contracts traded are perceived to be different in one instance versus the other. But you can see that the value area on the two calculations are relatively the same: 2655.75, 2655.75, 2641.25, 2641. You can compare how the volume area low and high changed over the trading session, and you will see once the trades are bunched together, you do get a slightly different shape. It's up to you to figure out the best for your environment, the best for the product you use. For trading ES.D, I set my trades per op to 10. Different products might have different values. So do the analysis, put one chart next to the other, set them up at two different values, let them run. You don't have to do this during the trading session. You can do this when the session is over so that it does not impact your trading. Take a look at the differences, do that for a couple of days, and then tune your system, your indicator for the trades per op that you think is most appropriate for the product you trade and for the performance of the platform that you trade on. The next input of importance is the high volume node and low volume node definitions. The indicator allows you to define a percentage of the VPOC volume or an absolute amount to define either the HVN floor, which is the lowest amount a VPO could be to be considered a high volume node, or the LVN ceiling, which is the highest amount a VPO can be considered before it's called a low volume node. Every trader, and even in fact every different product, be it Apple stock, the S&P ETF Spider, or the S&P Futures ES, will have potentially different definitions. I know traders who are trading ES during the regular trading hours who consider low volume nodes any node to be 10,000 shares, 10,000 contracts or less. They would set the LVN ceiling to 10,000. Personally, I use an HVN floor for the ES futures at 0.8. I believe that 80%, any VPO that's 80% of the volume POC would be considered a high volume node. How you define it is really up to you. Take a look at the VPOs over time, see which ones are of relevance, determine whether it's a percentage or an absolute amount. The next input name to review is merge. The default value for merge is 0. When merge is 0, the indicator installs a VPO at every traded price. If merge is non-zero, the indicator merges prices according to that value and installs VPOs at specified increments of price. Merge must be in multiple of min move. I have some examples to make this clear. Changing merge to a non-zero value is useful on large range days to enhance the readability of the output of the VPOs, but it will impact the VP calculations. And I think if you trade high-priced equities, you'll find that a merge of not greater than 0.01, which is a typical min move for equities, might have value for you. Let's take a look. You have here three charts of ES.D, 5 minutes during a trading session. ES trades in 0.25 increments. When merge is 0, you see a VPO, value area low, high, volume POC, and VWAP that are absolutely precise for that product. If every tick is insignificant to you and you look at the price of S&P futures at a half point or a point, it may make sense for you to change merge to 0.5 for less granularity in the outputs. You see it does impact the value area calculation, the VPOC and the VWAP. And likewise, if you set merge to 1, it has even less granularity and a little less accuracy. Let's take an example here of Amazon. This is 2 days of Amazon trading with the volume profiles displayed. You see Amazon closed at 1654.91. When merge is 0, every traded price to the penny is calculated and used to generate the value area, the point of control, and the VWAP. It may not be the case that on a $1,650 equity, movements at a penny would be significant. Perhaps movements at a dime are more significant, and so it would be more appropriate to look at the volume profile at a dime increments. Likewise, even a dime might be too tight for you at that price. Setting merge to a quarter gives you similar information, a little easier to read, but may more align with the way you consider stops and entry prices. Next, we'll take a look at the sample workspace. The sample workspace includes 4 charts and 1 radar screen. What I'd like you to do when you get the product and open up the workspace is investigate the settings of each indicator installed in each chart. Focus on the General tab, the Inputs tab, the Style tab, and the Color tab to see what those settings are set to. This is the sample workspace of the volume profile combination pack. You have your 4 windows, chart windows, and your 1 radar screen. The upper left window is charting at ES S&P futures on a 30-minute time interval. You can use any minutes time interval you like. The indicator is inserted twice. One instance of the indicator is generating the profile for the regular trading hours, and one instance of the profile is generating the profile for the extended trading hours. An alternate way of using the indicator, again on ES 30-minute chart, this is looking at the session that begins at ETH open and goes until RTH close. So the indicator is inserted only one time. You notice that the display of the VPO has been modified to be shown as a heat map. Alternatively, on the bottom right, ES 15-minute, one instance of the volume profile indicator. This is set so that there's no VPOs displayed. You can see the value area, the VWAP, and the volume point of control evolve over the session, and at session close the low and high volume nodes are displayed. And then finally, if you want to use the indicator on an equity, here is an example on the diamonds, the ETF for the Dow 30. Looks exactly the same as when it's running on the S&P futures. You'll note here that the value for merge has been changed from the default value because of the size or of the price. In addition, 2 of these charts, one ES and the diamond chart, are using the channel input variable value to share the volume profile values with the radar screen. The radar screen has got the VP plot R indicator inserted. That's all we have today for the video. I want to thank you for subscribing.